What's up, idols? It's CC Lesson 3. Welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for clicking on this video. We're so close to 1,000 subscribers, so please help engage with this video. Please leave a comment if you're shy. Leave a comment that says for the watch or for the like. Remember this clip?
For the watch. For the watch. For the watch.
Also, binge all the other story times I have on my channel. They're all put together in a playlist for you. So today's story, y'all. Get your tea ready. We all know that crazy as a concept is just like universal, right? Like everybody can be crazy. Everybody, anywhere, at any time can be a crazy person.
Last time calling me crazy, crazy, crazy.
So for this story time, we're gonna get into the mind of a crazy Korean woman. Because I can tell you, wherever you think this story is gonna be going, it's not gonna go there. But soft, I want to thank today's sponsor, Kitsch. Kitsch is a female-owned and female-founded hair care and accessory brand in over 20,000 retailers worldwide and over 29 countries. These solid bars cleanse and condition the hair and scalp. They also help repair damaged hair, improve your hair texture, and prevent split ends. Now, my absolute favorite thing about Kitsch's solid bars is they help reduce single-use plastic and your general waste. They're also silicone, phosphate, and sulfate free. This rice water shampoo helps reduce breakage, which is definitely my biggest hair concern. I've colored my hair a lot, as you guys have seen in my videos over the years, and it's chemically straightened beyond belief. So I look for all products that can keep my hair from breaking and it keeps my hair strong. The rice water in the shampoo has protein, which helps strengthen the hair. Now, do you guys see the lather with this shampoo bar bag? So I washed my hair the night before Valentine's Day. I got Bae to help me record this. And the way you see my hair all throughout this vlog is literally the next day after shampooing with the rice water and the conditioning bar. You guys can use the link in the description box and or my code CCLesson3 to get 25% off your first order. Kitsch ships to the US and internationally to over 29 countries. They also have a discounted subscription option. I want to thank Kitsch again so much for sponsoring this video. So today's star has to be called Tink or Tinkerbell, so I'll be using that interchangeably throughout this story. And because she's been in Korea for a really long time, she's had her fair share of relationships with Korean men. Not too many went past the 100-day mark. A lot of the times they went on a few dates and it didn't really go anywhere. But that's been primarily her dating experience on apps in Korea, so she kind of vowed no more dating apps.
Not in Korea, especially.
But one day, she had a little bit of a K-drama encounter in real life. So she was in Seoul, heading to the airport on the train with one of her friends. She's taking a weekend trip to Tokyo, and she's going with her friend. We're gonna call her Yena, as in like, yeah.
Nah.
Now, Yena and Tink are like besties. They're really good friends. Whenever she needs help with like Korean translation, Yena helps her. She also teaches her some Korean. She's been her really good friend, like her sister in this country since she's been here. They actually met one night while clubbing, and they found that they have so much in common. They're the same age, they like to travel, they like the same music, they like the same movies, they like the same food. They even borrow each other's clothes. So yeah, straight up sister / best friend vibes. So while on the train, you know, you gotta take a few sometimes depending on where you're going. And Yena noticed that this guy was like still there. Like she saw him kind of early on their itinerary, and this is like the third train that they had to get on, and he's still here on this train with them. Now she knows they're going to the airport, but she looked at this guy like he doesn't have any luggage, so like he's not going to the airport, is he? So apparently Yena tells this to Tink, today's star. And Tink's like, oh, he could be meeting someone at the airport, or maybe he works at the airport, like it's not really a big deal, is it? But then Yena's like, no, he's hot, like what if he's following us? So anyway, they finally get to the airport, and they get out, they're excited, about to start their journey. Suddenly this guy walks over to Tink. So he says hello and asks if she speaks English. She's like, me, the foreigner? Do I speak English? Yes, I speak English. And her reaction made the guy laugh, and we're gonna call him Youngbae. That's the same name as my homeboy Taeyang, and I'm gonna name him after greatness for a reason. He's like, my English isn't perfect. I'm still studying. I'm still trying to learn. Can you tell me what this says? So there's like a text on his phone and she translates for him. So he thanked her and then asked her where she was going. And this made Tink laugh because suddenly the stranger is asking where I'm going. She's like, haha, and she kind of looks over at Yena like, what the fuck is happening? But at the same time, she's not traveling by herself. So she felt safe enough to say, oh, we're just going to Tokyo. And then Youngbae says, oh, nice, for how long? And this is when Yena interjects and says, oh, we're going for the weekend. But she did so in a way that made it seem like she was interested in him, like playing with the hair, kind of like flirting, like, oh yeah, we're just going for the weekends. So then Tink asked why he was at the airport, noting he didn't have any luggage or any bags. So she's like, yeah, so what brings you here to the airport? He said he was meeting up with a friend who was coming back from Canada, and he had a lot of luggage and was gonna need help carrying his stuff back home. So then Yena jumps in and like, oh my god, aw, you're such a sweet guy. This is just my interpretation based on how Tink said that like Yena was being very, very flirty. So this is how I interpret it in my mind. So then Youngbae's like, oh yeah, I guess I'm a good guy. So anyway, and he turns back to Tink and tells her to enjoy her flight, says he doesn't want to hold her up or make her miss her flight. He's like, enjoy Tokyo, but I was wondering, could I follow you on Instagram or maybe get your cacao before you go? Tink was like, oh, who, me? Why do you want my number? Why do you want my Instagram? So he's like, oh, you know, you're really pretty, you seem nice, and I like your style. So Tink blushed and says, sure, that's okay, yeah, you can have my Instagram, here's my cacao. So then Yena asked Youngbae, oh, do you want my Instagram too? Maybe you could talk to me on cacao as well. This is getting weird. Like, she's trying to put herself in this situation that she's not in. Like, you're cock blocking right now. It would be different if Tink wasn't showing mutual interest, but it seems like she's interested too. So like, I get, you know, the friend that needs to kind of step in and be like, oh, this is my girlfriend, sorry, like we're not interested. But when she's like, okay, yeah, like you can have that, and keeping the conversation going, I think that's when Yena should take a step back. So anyway, Tinkerbell and Youngbae exchange information. Yena did too, I guess. So as they're walking through the airport, you know, they left Youngbae. Tink and Yena are walking through the airport, and you know, Tink is kind of just taking this in like, wow, this really cute guy just approached me in a very nice way. That doesn't happen, not to me, and especially not in Korea. So they're walking through the airport, she's in her own head thinking about like, wow, I can't believe this is happening. And then out of nowhere, Yena goes, do you think he likes me? He's like really hot. So Tink just laughs and says, I don't know. We weren't there, right? But doesn't it seem kind of obvious that he's more into Tink than Yena?
This bitch!
Anyway, they make their way through security, they make their way to the gate, they make their way on their flight, and then they land in Japan. Now this is Tink's first time in Tokyo, first time in Japan, and she's really excited. She can't wait to try the food, see the sights, maybe do the Sky Tree, the Tokyo Tower, like she's really excited. So they make their way to their hotel, get all checked in, and they want to get comfortable, get changed, shower, and then go out for some food. So Yena took a shower first, and as Tink is out there waiting for her turn to take a shower, she gets a DM. She goes on Instagram. And it's Youngbae. He asked her how her flight was, did she land safely, and did she eat yet? She was pleasantly surprised to hear from him, especially so soon. So she's like cheesing from ear to ear, and she's like, yeah, like it was a great flight, thank you so much. How about you? How was all that luggage carrying it through the airport on the train? That must not have been easy, you're such a good friend. So then Youngbae's like, oh my god, I'm so tired, it was so much luggage. He wasn't even gone in Canada that long, how did he get so much shit? So yeah, anyway, they're talking, and Tinkerbell is sitting there kikiing out loud, this kiki kiki kiki. So then Yena's like, what's got you smiling so much? And she's like, oh, Youngbae messaged me. So then Yena says, oh, I should see if he messaged me too, he's so hot. She's always emphasizing how hot this dude is. Tink doesn't think much of it, and she's like, okay, well, since you're out of the shower, I'm gonna go shower. And she decided to tell Youngbae, hey, so if I'm slow replying, we just landed, I need to shower and get ready, and we're going out for the night to eat. And he said, actually, you know, I've had a long day, I'm really tired, I'm just gonna cook some food and go to sleep myself, I'll text you tomorrow. So, you know, she's like, okay, that's fine, have a good sleep, I hope you feel better. So after taking a shower and thinking a lot about Youngbae, she comes out smiling, in a good mood. Especially, you know, she's about to go out with her best friend and enjoy Tokyo, and this guy she has to look forward to when she's going back to Korea, like, there might be something there. So she gets out, good spirits, and she sees that Yena is on the bed, like, texting and laughing, and before Tink can even say anything to her, Yena's like, oh my god, you're so right, Youngbae is so funny. By the way, I don't know why I'm giving her this Valley Girl accent, that's just how it sounded in the email. She is Korean, by the way.
Get off of me! Ugh, as if! Came that like did not RSVP, so I was like totally bugging. Hello.
So then Tink's like, oh really, no way, what are you guys talking about? And Yena's like fumbling her words like, oh, you know, like what a long day it was, and this great TV show that we like. So she's also being really vague with what they're talking about, and that seems weird.
That's suspicious.
So now Tink is kind of wondering if Youngbae was lying to her because he had just told her he was about to eat and go to bed, but he's texting her friend Yena right now. So then she's like, either this guy is lying or my best friend is lying. And before she can dwell on that thought any further, then Yena's like, so you ready? Like, we should go get some food, I'm starving. So throughout the night, while they're out, Yena is randomly laughing, looking at her phone, saying that like Youngbae is so funny still. And when Tink checks her phone, nothing from Youngbae, so she's like, he's talking to her but not me. I guess it's like, you know, the same old, same old. I'm used to that foreigner experience here. I guess he's into her more than he's into me. That's fine, to be expected. She's just sitting there like, why did he have to lie to me though? Like, if he didn't want to talk to me, he could have just said that. Or he could just not reply. He didn't have to make up a lie and tell me he was going to get some food and then go to bed. So anyway, Tink's trying to have fun and enjoy Tokyo without her friends sitting there kikiing about this great guy that she's talking to when she knows that Tink likes him, which is weird, that's sus, that's not friendship shit. So then Tinkerbell wakes up the next day to a very sweet good morning text from Youngbae. He asked how her night was, but she didn't want to reply because she's like, what are you doing? Like, what is this guy doing? Like, he's talking to me, but lying about why he can't talk to me and talking to my best friend at the same time. Like, she didn't know what kind of games he was playing, so she wanted to put that on the side and enjoy her time in Tokyo. So they went to temples, ate some yummy food, checked out some museums. She did get to go to the Sky Tree. She did get to go to Tokyo Tower. And on this next day, since she didn't bring up Youngbae at all, Yena didn't bring up Youngbae at all either, so she had her friend's full attention without her sitting in her phone key-keying about this dude that she was talking to. And that's how the rest of the trip went in Tokyo. Like, she had her best friend back. They had a really good girls' time like they normally did before Youngbae was brought into the picture. And the whole time, I mean, it was only a weekend trip, but Tink did not respond to Youngbae at all. So now that the weekend is over and she's back in Seoul, she got another message from Youngbae.
Another one. And another one.
So he's asking how her trip was. He said, "Are you okay?" Because, like, you know, in the West, when you're first getting to know someone, you, like, foolishly, "Oh, I'm not going to respond right away because I don't want them to think that I'm too eager or desperate, so I'm going to wait a little bit." In Korea, it's the opposite. If they don't hear from you, then they assume you're not interested, and that's how I feel too. So with her not responding to him, he was like, "I just wanted to make sure, like, if you don't want me to talk to you, I won't, but if you're not interested, just let me know. I'll let you be free. I just wanted to give you, like, one more chance to let me know." So Tinkerbell finally responded to him and said, "Well, I can't tell if you like me or my friend more. I'm not interested in playing these games." So he replied very confused, like, I'm sorry, what do you mean?"
What do you mean?
So Tink explains how Yena told her that she was receiving these messages from Youngbae as well. Like, he was texting both of them. And she's like, "I just think it's funny how you tell me that you're gonna go make some food and then go to sleep, but then as soon as I go to take a shower, I come out of the shower and you're texting my best friend and y'all over there kikiing when you just kikiing with me while she was in the shower." So then Youngbae replied with a screenshot of his DMs. He also said he has not talked to her since that day when they all met at the airport. He said he didn't follow her on Instagram. He didn't even accept her request to follow him. But at first Tink is like, "Yeah, but you don't really need to follow each other to DM each other, and you could also just delete the thread and I won't see it, like, I'm not stupid." Because of course, you know, she wants to make these excuses and believe her best friend over this random guy she just met. But at the same time, she's like, well, that's a lie that could be easily disproven. Like, I could just go to Yena and be like, "Can you show me these messages?" Like, why would he risk telling me I never messaged her by deleting the thread when I can just go to Yena, ask her to show me the thread, and it'll be there? That's risky. That's a dumbass lie. So then he said he wondered why she was lying about this. And then Tink is thinking about how the rest of their trip got back to normal as soon as she stopped bringing up Youngbae. Yena stopped bringing up Youngbae. So she's like, something's not right. It's like, in this moment, of course, Tink does not know who to believe. Youngbae says to Tink, "I like you. That's why I asked for your contact information." So Tink decided to give him a chance and let him explain while they met up in person over some coffee. They decided to get 2 Americanos. This will be a good chance for them to chat in person one-on-one without Yena. So fast forward to when they met and they hit it off in person just like they did at the airport. Like, the sparks were there. They see each other and they're like, "Oh, hi. Like, how have you been? I hope you've been good. Like, you're cute. You're cute too." And because they hit it off so well, Youngbae said, "Look, if I don't want to be too forward or anything, but I'm actually a really good cook. If you'd like to meet up again, I'd like to make a meal for you and we can go to my place." So she did agree to this, and she decided not to tell Yena because she's actually going to catch Yena in a little bit of a lie later on in the story time. So they leave the coffee date, they part ways, and she's once again thinking about this boy a lot. Like, she really likes him. She just wants to make sure he's not playing her and her friend because that's what people do these days. They play games.
Happy
Dating.
games, and may the odds be ever in your favor.
Yeah, they're not.
And she felt sad because normally this is the time where she'd be like, "Oh my god, I gotta tell my bestie about this great guy I'm gonna go on a date with." But given the suspicion going on with the 3 of them, she decided not to tell her anything, not yet. She reflected back on how their relationship has always been pretty smooth as long as she's single, but when she's talking to a guy, Yena was pretty quick to try and shut him down and be like, "Oh, he's a bad guy, he's bad for you, don't trust him." That's been her history in their friendship. So jumping ahead to Youngbae and Tinkerbell's dinner date at his place. She was impressed that he lived alone, and the first thing she noticed was the smell. She could tell he was cooking something that smelled really, really good. She also loved the view that he had from his apartment. She doesn't remember what he made. She said it was some Korean stew, but he also baked for her so they could have dessert. So they're sitting there, drinking some wine, having their food, when suddenly Tinkerbell gets a text message from Yena. Now, this wasn't out of the ordinary or anything. Like, they text and talked all the time, but this is the first time that Yena texted her while she was out with Youngbae. So this made her feel pretty awkward. So then Youngbae goes on again, like, why is she lying? Like, this is such a strange thing to lie about, especially coming from your friend. And he's like, "I'm sure she's really nice, but she's just not my style." So then Tinkerbell gets an idea. She decides to pretend that she's at home right now with plans to meet Youngbae in the near future. Basically, she's lying about being with him right now. She also didn't tell Yena about their Americano one-on-one sit-down that they had the other day. So as far as Yena knows, this will be the first time that Youngbae and Tinkerbell have seen each other since that day in the airport. But yeah, Tinkerbell's like, okay, so me and Youngbae are gonna go out. He asked me out and I agreed. So then Yena's like, oh, that sounds so nice. I didn't know you were talking to him too. As in also, meaning as well. We talk a lot. He's like really funny. He's such a good guy. Plus he's so hot. Y'all knew she was gonna say that again, right? So then Yena makes it seem like she is messaging Youngbae right now as we speak, because she does not know that Tink is with him right now. So when Tink shows this message to Youngbae, he gets mad, he gets pissed. He takes out his phone and he puts it on the table to wait for the notification to come in that Yena's allegedly sending him these messages. And then he takes it a step further. He goes in his Instagram app, opens his DMs and just lets them sit there open, waiting for this message that's supposed to come in. Like, oh yeah, we're talking right now, we're kikiing and I'm so funny. Where, Yena?
How, Sway?
Take a few steps back.
There's no notifications, no new messages, nothing coming through on his phone. So then he opens his Kakao to show her too. So then Tink asks Yena, oh, haha, so what are you guys talking about right now? And then Yena says, well, we're thinking about us going out to hang out and we want to invite you too, but we're worried you'll feel like a third wheel.
Stop it. Get some help.
So with that, Tink is fully convinced that Yena is the one that's lying. She was with Youngbae for the last few hours, watching him cook and chatting with him face-to-face one-on-one. So how was Yena talking to him and DMing him and texting him at the same time? So Youngbae, with his phone on the table, he asks, so what is your friend's Instagram? And then he types it in and shows blocked. He just wanted to block her. He was really annoyed, which is understandable at this point. So what do you do now when you find out that your best friend is lying about getting to know this guy that you really like and he seems to like you too? So Youngbae hatches a plot. He said, this is what we need to do. You ask her to hang out. Y'all do this like y'all normally do. What do girls do? Go get your nails done. Do something that y'all typically do. And then I'm gonna show up and I want to hear from her mouth all the conversations we have together, because I've never talked to this girl, not since we left that airport, and I want to know why she's lying about this. So then Tink agrees, like, yeah, that actually sounds like a good idea, because us three talking about this face to face without the chance for prep is probably the best way for the truth to come out. So they try to salvage the rest of their date. They have a nice conversation and they end up kissing that night. All they did was kiss. She said that she wanted to. Take her word for it. She wanted to. But at the same time, until she knew what was going on with her friend and Youngbae, she didn't feel comfortable going all the way with him until this was all cleared up.
Not tonight. Believe me, I want to. I just want to be married to you first.
So after they kissed, he walked her to the station closest to his apartment. He said goodbye to her, text me when you're home, all that cute, sweet stuff. So a few days went by because they had to make sure it was a day that Youngbae was off so that he could show up like, ha, surprise, bitch.
Gotcha, bitch.
And show up because he couldn't be working. Tink had to make sure she was meeting up with Yena before Yena thought that Tink was going to be meeting up with Youngbae. It's hard to keep track, I'm sorry. Because remember, she had last told Yena about their first date plans. So she wanted to make sure she was meeting before that first date, even though they've seen each other twice in person now. So Tinkerbell had planned to get lunch with Yena so they could all get caught up and see what you've been up to, girl. You got some explaining to do. So, you know, it's hard to meet up with your best friend and try to pretend that you didn't just catch her in a lie. Like, this girl deserves an Oscar. So they eat and chat, and while they're eating and chatting, Yena is talking about Youngbae like they're about to be boyfriend and girlfriend.
What you say? Oh, that you only meant well, cause you did.
Meanwhile, Tinkerbell has to pretend that as soon as she found out that Youngbae was pursuing Yena, she lost all interest. So she has to pretend like she's not really interested in him like that anymore. So after their lunch, a wild Youngbae appears. And if you could look at Yena's face, she was cold, speechless, nothing to say. So then Tink is like, hey boo, to Youngbae, and they kissed. So Youngbae wastes no time. He's like, Yena, please, show me these messages where I've been texting you and talking with you and I'm so funny and we're about to be boyfriend and girlfriend and we have plans to hang out and we didn't want Tink to be the third wheel. Please tell me where this happened because I don't recall. And this is the point where Tinkerbell kind of just sits back and lets the truth come out because one of them is lying. So Yena is pissed. She's like, wait, you believe this guy over me, your best friend? Whoa, like making this big fuss about it. And Tink is like, that's right, I am your best friend and this is a simple request. Just show me the messages and I'll believe you. And then Yena just keeps repeating herself. So he's like, wow, you really don't believe me? I'm your best friend. So then Tinkerbell goes through the full timeline with Yena and how it doesn't make sense. Even if you really thought that I wasn't interested in him anymore, why would you pursue a guy that was pursuing both of us? That doesn't make sense. And this is when Youngbae said plainly, you're not my style. I never pursued you. I never messaged you. You asked for my contact information. I just didn't want to be rude. I don't like you.
I don't fucking like you.
The fact that you can't show a single message proves that you're the one that's lying here. You say you're her friend, but friends don't do this to each other. I don't understand. So after a long pause, Yena cursed them out in Korean, and then she walked away. And I think that makes it pretty clear that Yena was the one that was lying. She didn't even try to defend herself. And with that, Tink and Youngbae have been going pretty strong lately. And you'd think that'd be the end of it, right? But no, 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 no. Weeks go by. Youngbae and Tink are a couple now. Yena and Tinkerbell have not spoken since this interaction, post-coffee, ambush, tell me the truth girl, confrontation, intervention, whatever you want to call it. So Tinkerbell got one more message from Yena, and this is what it said. Are you sure about his intentions? He's still trying to sleep with me. He's not a good guy for you.
Hell no, to the no, 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 hell to the no.
So then Tinkerbell replies, I'm not sure about your intentions. You're supposed to be my best friend, but you're pursuing this guy that I like. You're lying about communicating with him to sabotage a potential relationship that we would have had. I thought you were my friend, but you let a boy come in between our friendship.
Why you let these hoes tear what we had right apart?
I'm sorry it came to this, but don't contact me anymore unless you're gonna tell me the truth. And after that, Yena blocked her. Yena just blocked Tinkerbell. Instead of making her case, instead of trying to tell her she was telling the truth, she just blocked her. She was that unwilling to just tell her the truth. I don't know if she had like a genuine interest in this boy or she just didn't want Tinkerbell to have him. I don't get it. Because even before they talked, they were on the train and she just kept, that hot guy, I think that hot guy's following us. And then when he finally approaches the girls, but he decides to talk to Tinkerbell, that must have hit, right?
You should beware, beware, beware of a woman with a broken heart.
And it's like really fucked because I'm all like, I'm a girl's girl, believe girls. And of course you shouldn't do that blindly or without reason. But it's just sad that to get a story like this where your best friend was trying to sabotage your relationship. When you finally met someone who seemed decent and was nice and kind and considerate, your friend was trying to take that from you. Tinkerbell, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you and Youngbae are still together. I hope that she doesn't come back, or if she does, she finally comes back with the truth and she's honest. Youngbae sounds like a real one. That's why I gave him Taeyang's name. If you guys want to see more story times like this, binge the playlists that are about to pop up on the end screen. Thanks for watching. If you did, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Annyeong!